Once upon a time, in a small village called Mundemba, there lived all sorts of people and animals. The village was special because it was near a big, beautiful river. The river was so wide and deep that people said it was like an ocean. In this village, there was a girl named Atangana. She was the prettiest girl anyone had ever seen. Atangana had long dark hair that shone in the sun, and her eyes were as bright as stars. But what made Atangana really special was how kind and gentle she was. Everyone in Mundemba loved Atangana. The men in the village would often try to win her heart. They would say things like, "Atangana, you are so lovely. Will you marry me?" But Atangana wasn't interested in getting married. She would always smile and say, "Thank you, but I'm not ready yet." Every day, Atangana would go to the village market to sell her goods. She had the best fruits and vegetables in all of Mundemba. People loved to buy from her because her fruits were always the sweetest and her vegetables were always the freshest. But there was something strange about Atangana. No one knew where she lived. She always came to the market very early in the morning and left before it got dark. It was like she appeared out of thin air every day and then vanished when the sun started to set. The people in Mundemba would whisper to each other, "Where does Atangana go? Where does she live?" But Atangana kept it a secret. She was happy to be kind and helpful to everyone, but she never talked about herself or her home. So, Atangana lived quietly in Mundemba. Everyone admired her, but no one really knew much about her. The villagers kept wondering about the beautiful girl who came and went like a gentle breeze. One sunny day, a handsome young man named Mbella came to the market in Mundemba. He was looking for some fresh fruits and vegetables. When he saw Atangana, he couldn't believe his eyes. "Wow," he thought, "she is the most beautiful girl I've ever seen." Mbella couldn't take his eyes off Atangana. He walked over to her stall and said, "Hello, my name is Mbella. What's your name?" Atangana smiled softly and replied, "I'm Atangana. How can I help you today?" Mbella was so happy to talk to her. He bought some fruits and stayed to chat with Atangana. They talked about the weather, the village, and the market. Mbella loved listening to Atangana's gentle voice and seeing her kind smile. After that day, Mbella started coming to the market every day just to see Atangana. They became friends, and Mbella felt like he was falling in love with her. One evening, as the market was closing, Mbella noticed it was getting late. He saw Atangana packing up her things and offered, "Let me walk you home, Atangana. It's not safe to go alone in the dark." Atangana hesitated. She had never let anyone walk her home before, but Mbella insisted, and finally, Atangana agreed. As they walked, the sky grew darker and the air became chilly. They were heading towards the big river that everyone said was like an ocean. Mbella thought this was strange because no one lived near the river. It was too dangerous, people said. Suddenly, Mbella felt something strange. A cold, wet hand touched his back. He turned around, but no one was there. His heart started beating fast and he felt scared. He looked at Atangana, who seemed calm and was walking ahead. Mbella couldn't shake off his fear. He stopped and said, "Atangana, I think I should go back. It's getting too dark." Atangana turned to him and gently said, "It's okay, Mbella. You can go back if you're scared." She smiled softly at him. With fear in his eyes, Mbella nodded and hurried back to the village. He ran and ran until he reached his home. From that day on, Mbella never returned to the market to see Atangana again. He was too scared of the mysterious cold hand and the dark night near the river. Atangana missed Mbella, but she continued her peaceful life in the village. The villagers wondered why Mbella suddenly stopped visiting the market, but no one knew the secret of that night. What the people of Mundemba didn't know was that Atangana had a big secret. She wasn't just an ordinary girl from the village. Atangana was actually a mermaid from the deep magical river beyond Mundemba. In the river, Atangana lived with her family of mermaid people. They could change their tails into legs and walk on land, but Atangana was the only one who could look like a human all the time. Her family loved her very much, but they didn't want her to get close to humans. Atangana's parents had always warned her, "Atangana, you must not marry a human. Our world and theirs are too different." They were very protective of her. When Mbella started visiting Atangana at the market, her parents got worried. They didn't want her to fall in love with him, so they decided to scare him away. The cold, wet hand that Mundemba felt on his back was her family's doing, a trick to keep him away from Atangana. Atangana felt sad. She liked Mundemba and wanted to have friends in the village. She didn't want to live under her family's rules anymore. She wanted to be free to make her own choices and live among the humans. So Atangana made a big decision. She decided to cut ties with her family in the river and stay in Mundemba village. One day she swam deep into the river to say goodbye to her family. "I love you," she told them, "but I want to live my own life. I want to be free to make my own choices." Her parents were sad, but understood her wish. They warned her one last time, "Be careful, Atangana. The world outside can be harsh." With a heavy heart, Atangana left the river and moved to the village for good. She hoped to find happiness and maybe even love among the humans. She continued to sell her goods in the market, keeping her past a secret. The villagers only knew her as the beautiful and kind girl from the market, not knowing the magical world she came from. After leaving her family in the river, Atangana felt a mix of freedom and fear. She wanted to live her own life, but she knew it wouldn't be easy. To make sure she wouldn't be pulled back into her family's world, Atangana decided to visit the shrine of Ndimi, a powerful spirit known for helping those who sought a different path in life. Atangana walked to the shrine and knelt before Ndimi's altar. She spoke with a soft but determined voice. "Great Ndemi, I wish to sever all connections with my family. I want to live freely in Mundemba village, away from their control." Ndem appeared in a soft glow and listened to Atangana's request. The spirit nodded and said, "I understand your wish, Atangana. I will grant you the freedom you seek, but know this, your family will not be happy. They may try to curse you to bring you back." Atangana, with a brave heart, nodded. "I understand. I still want to go through with it," she said. Ndimi raised a hand and granted Atangana's wish with a gentle wave. The bond between Atangana and her family was cut. But true to Ndimi's warning, when her family realized they had lost their connection to Atangana, they were furious. Her mother, in anger and sorrow, laid a curse on her. She whispered to the waters, "May you never find happiness with a human. May they always leave you in despair." Despite the curse, Atangana stayed in Mundemba. She continued her life in the village, selling in the market and interacting with the people. She hoped to find love and a sense of belonging, even though a shadow of the curse hung over her. Atangana was determined to live her life freely, no matter the challenges ahead. She kept her kind and gentle nature, hoping one day she would meet someone who could see past the curse and love her for who she was. One day, a well-known merchant named Eka came to Mundemba village. He traveled from village to village, selling fine cloth and beautiful garments. Eka was friendly and charming, and many people liked him. When he saw Atangana at the market, he was struck by her beauty and grace. "Who is this lovely girl?" he wondered. Eka approached Atangana with a big smile. "Hello, I'm Eka. I travel around selling beautiful cloth. You must be Atangana, the girl everyone talks about," he said. Atangana smiled back and replied, "Yes, that's me. It's nice to meet you, Eka." Eka was captivated by her gentle voice and kind eyes. He started visiting the market more often, always stopping by Atangana's stall. They talked and laughed, and Eka found himself falling in love with her. He thought Atangana was not only beautiful, but also sweet and kind.